They say trust is the foundation of every relationship, whether personal or professional. But I learned early on that trust can be a double-edged sword. It can elevate you, or it can bury you. My story isn't about betrayal just for the sake of revenge. It's about transformation, about turning the pain of treachery into the power of undeniable success. It started with Helena's ascent in finance, a journey marked by relentless focus, strategic brilliance, and an unwavering belief in her vision. I was young, hungry, and eager to carve out my place in the world's most ruthless arena, high finance. My mentor, a man named Victor Lang, was my guiding star. He saw potential in me. More than that, he believed in my ideas, my strategies, my ability to reshape the industry. He was charismatic, influential, and at the time, my greatest supporter. I trusted him implicitly. He guided my early steps, shared insights, introduced me to the right circles. But beneath that polished veneer of mentorship, something darker was brewing. Unbeknownst to me, Victor had been leaking my groundbreaking strategies, my proprietary algorithms, my market insights, straight to my rivals. It was subtle at first. Small weeks, minor advantages they gained, but enough to make me suspicious. I confronted him once, in a quiet office overlooking Manhattan. I asked, "Victor, I know you're feeding information to my competitors. Why?" He smiled, that cold, calculating smile of someone who believes they're untouchable. "Helena," he said softly, "you're talented, but you're naive. In this game, loyalty is a currency, and I've invested heavily in my future, and that future doesn't include you." That moment was a punch to the gut. I felt betrayal like a knife, but I also felt something else: clarity. I realized that my loyalty, my trust, had been exploited. And if I was going to survive, if I was going to truly win, I had to act, not with rage, but with calculated precision. That's when I made my move. I decided to fight fire with fire. I would expose Victor's treachery, but not in a way that left him in ruins. No, I was going to outsmart him entirely. I secretly funded a startup that I knew he coveted, a revolutionary fintech platform that would redefine wealth management. I poured my resources into it under the radar, building it from the ground up on my strategic terms. This was my silent war. I played the long game, knowing that Victor's ego and greed would eventually lead him to make a mistake. Meanwhile, I kept my head down, focusing on my own growth, expanding my influence, and refining my strategies. And then, the breakthrough. The day I took control was a defining moment. I revealed my hand, not through direct confrontation, but through my actions. I announced the acquisition of that startup, transforming it into a flagship of my empire. I didn't just take back what was stolen. I elevated it, turning it into a cornerstone of my legacy. The industry watched in awe as I, once underestimated, now commanded respect. I had outmaneuvered the person I once trusted most. My rivals, my critics, even my own doubts, all of them had to reckon with the fact that Helena Montez was no longer the naive protégé. She was the master strategist, the woman who turned betrayal into her greatest asset. And here's the truth. Success isn't about revenge for revenge's sake. It's about proving to yourself that you are more than the sum of your setbacks. It's about rising so high that your past enemies can only look up at you in silent acknowledgement. I returned home that day not to gloat, but to stand tall, to show everyone that the woman they doubted, underestimated, and betrayed had become a force they could never ignore. I had transformed barren land, my own doubts, setbacks, and betrayals into a thriving ecosystem of power, influence, and legacy. And I did it on my own terms. So, to anyone listening, remember this. Betrayal can be the catalyst that ignites your greatest triumph. When they underestimate you, that's when you double down. When they try to hold you back, that's when you rise even higher. Because the true victory isn't in crushing your enemies, it's in proving to yourself that you're unstoppable. Like, share, and subscribe if you're ready to turn your setbacks into your greatest comebacks. This isn't just a story. It's a blueprint. Your turn to write yours begins now. The tone softens slightly, but the message remains powerful. Remember, your legacy isn't built on the approval of others. It's forged in the fire of your resilience, your strategy, and your unwavering belief in yourself. Keep pushing, keep rising, because in the end, the greatest triumph is standing tall, knowing you've turned every betrayal into a stepping stone for your empire. This is Helena Montes. Trust in your strength and let your success do the talking.